So, when do you stop being a yoga newbie?
Have you ever felt like you're ready for the next level of your practice?
Have you been taking beginner yoga classes for several months?
Are you curious about the intermediate class offered after your yoga basics class?
But you wonder if you're ready.
Well, you came to the right place. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Brittany. And welcome to our Bulldog Online YouTube channel. We are here to help you guys today. Let's unpack what's next after your beginner yoga and how to know if you're ready to take it to the next level, like an intermediate or advanced class. We're here to help, and more importantly, we have some tips for you to help you take that leap.
Here are 5 tips and hints that will help you know when it's time to hop in or click into that intermediate or high intensity class you've been eyeing for some time. Because we get it. Sometimes you're ready to get after it, and we want to help you get there.
Number 1, you feel stronger than you did when you first started. So if seeing the phrase high plank or even the concept of a push-up no longer scares you, you might be ready to take it to the next level. And it might be time to challenge yourself. And also, compared to when you first started out on your mat, if you're able to breathe and move in and out of poses with a little bit less effort and a little bit more ease, it might be time to retire your beginner yoga jersey.
Having a strong core is fundamental to an intermediate yoga practice. This is the most important physical difference between beginner and more advanced levels of yoga. The core is essential, not just as a single muscle in the center of your body, but as an entire sheath of muscles protecting your abdomen. A strong core enables you to advance your practice. Number 2, you're smarter on the mat, meaning the names of common yoga poses sound familiar to you, and you don't need to constantly be looking up at your instructor or other yogis in the room to identify which pose is which. If the verbal cues are making more and more sense, it sounds like you're ready to move on in your yoga flow.
Number 3, you trust your inner teacher, meaning yourself. So instead of mindlessly following the teacher, you notice that you're mindfully listening and transitioning through each pose while also noticing how the poses and movements feel for your own body. Just knowing when to modify or even take a rest, like child's pose, is actually turning inward and tuning into the intention of the practice. So sometimes taking a rest can ironically mean it's time to amp it up.
Number 4, you're more flexible. Besides actually feeling more physically flexible and realizing your hamstrings aren't screaming like they once were, you might find that you're more mentally flexible and open to the infinite possibilities on your mat. You're more relaxed, trying something new, and more comfortable in your practice in general.
Number 5, you are more courageous. So you're finding yourself intrigued by the challenges offered in a class or a pose, and you are discovering the confidence to go for it. Whether it's an arm balance or just a deeper variation of a warm-up or a cool down, that curiosity and courage is there for a reason, and it might mean it's time to move on and see what else is out there.
So that high intensity power flow you've had your eye on, or maybe that arm balance workshop, just go for it. And keep in mind that you can always modify. If you're starting to feel very strong in a pose, try a more advanced variation of it. If a pose is still a bit out of reach, you can always modify and always tap out a little bit. That's all for our tips today. Remember, be patient with yourself. Difficult poses never happen overnight, and it takes a lot of practice and discipline to master those harder shapes. Being patient with yourself also means understanding that everybody is different, so there might be certain poses that are always unavailable to you, and that's okay.
It's important to realize that there is no universal answer for when it's time to move up in your yoga practice or move on to the next level of a class. You may be happy right where you are and trust that and stay with it. Or you may be constantly asking yourself, what's next? And sometimes you really won't know until you get there. Yoga is really so multifaceted, as Kelly and I know too well. You will forever discover new elements to all poses. So from standing mountain to even handstand, there's going to be so many layers that you uncover. No matter how basic or advanced a class or a pose may be, you will be constantly peeling back new elements of yoga. You may need the strength and flexibility and even balance to really master certain advanced poses out there, but that doesn't mean you can't try them and continue to try them on your yoga journey.
Thanks for hanging out with us and chatting about what's next after beginner yoga. For all you yogis eager to level up, start looking for classes labeled Invigorate or Exhilarate as part of the Bulldog Online Yoga Library. Flows with more of a cardio focus will help you balance out more passive poses with those mountain climbers, those squats, those amped up variations that we love.
Thank you guys so much for being with us today. Again, this is our Helpful Bites playlist. We had awesome time chatting with you guys about what's next after beginner yoga. To get your Bulldog Online fix on the regular, you can always subscribe to our channel or head right over to bulldogonline.com to access our full array of at-home live stream yoga workouts and guided meditations. So for now, see you next time, guys. Bye.
I think that was fine.
Yeah, it flowed.
It was good.
I mean, what do you think?